I don't have much to offer, sir, but I can cook. The sentence escaped Lena's lips before she could measure its weight. The moment it hung in the air, she wished she could pull it back, fold it neatly, and hide it inside her chest. She stood stiffly near the marble island, fingers tightening around the strap of her faded handbag. The kitchen was bigger than her entire apartment. Gleaming steel appliances, spotless counters, lights so bright they made her feel exposed. Daniel Rothwell looked up from his phone. Most people waited for him to speak first. They rehearsed. They flattered. They asked. This woman hadn't done any of that. Her voice hadn't trembled from manipulation, it trembled from exhaustion. You can cook, he repeated, studying her now. Yes, Lena said quickly, afraid silence would make him dismiss her. I mean, proper meals. Not frozen food. I clean here twice a week already, but if you ever needed someone to cook, even just occasionally, I could. She stopped herself. Talking too much always ruined things. Daniel set his phone down slowly. He noticed details he usually ignored. The faint burn mark on her wrist, the careful neatness of her clothes despite how old they were, the way she stood as if expecting to be told she didn't belong. You're not applying through my agency, he said. Why come to me directly? Lena swallowed. Pride flared briefly, then died under necessity. Because agencies take time, and I don't have time. Something in her honesty unsettled him. Explain, he said. She hesitated, eyes flicking to the polished floor. My son's name is Adam. He's 7. He has asthma. Her voice softened when she said his name, like she was touching something fragile. His medication was covered before. It isn't anymore. I've tried everything. Daniel leaned back against the counter, arms crossing, not defensively, but thoughtfully. And cooking fixes this? He asked. No, Lena admitted. But work does. Extra work. The city outside the window glowed with wealth and movement. Daniel had signed contracts worth millions without blinking. Yet this woman asking for a chance, not money, made his chest feel strangely tight. Why cooking? He asked. A small, sad smile touched her lips. Because it's the one thing I know how to do without failing. That answer landed harder than she intended. Daniel remembered his childhood, nannies, boarding schools, meals prepared by people who never ate with him. Food had always been present, but care had not. I don't need a cook, he said honestly. Lena nodded immediately. I understand. I'm sorry for taking your time. She turned to leave, shoulders already folding inward. Wait, Daniel said. She froze. I don't need one, he repeated, but I eat here every night. Alone. Cook dinner. She turned back slowly. Tonight. Yes. Use whatever you need. Her eyes widened. Not with excitement, but disbelief. If you don't like it, then nothing changes, he said. If I do, we'll talk. Relief hit her so hard her breath stuttered. Thank you, sir, she whispered. I won't disappoint you. As she tied on an apron that clearly didn't belong to her, Daniel realized something unexpected. For the first time in a long while, someone hadn't asked him for what he had. They had offered what they were. Lena washed her hands twice before touching anything. Not because the kitchen wasn't clean, it was immaculate, but because nerves had a way of making her doubt herself. The appliances looked untouched, like they were part of a showroom rather than a home. She opened the refrigerator carefully, half expecting an alarm to go off. Instead, she found rows of pristine ingredients, organic vegetables, imported cheeses, cuts of meat labeled in neat packaging. Too much. She chose the simplest things instead. Chicken, rice, garlic, onions, things she understood. As the pan warmed, Lena closed her eyes and breathed in, grounding herself the way she always did before cooking for Adam. Oil first, then onions, slow and patient, coaxed into sweetness instead of rushed into bitterness. The sound of sizzling filled the kitchen, breaking the heavy silence of the penthouse. Daniel watched from the doorway without announcing himself. He was used to chefs performing, explaining, impressing, waiting for approval. Lena did none of that. She moved like the kitchen belonged to her, like she was somewhere safe. Her shoulders relaxed as the aroma spread, and for the first time that evening, the apartment smelled lived in. What are you making? He asked. She startled slightly, then smiled. Something warm. I hope that's okay. He nodded. It is. She seasoned by instinct, tasting, adjusting, trusting herself in a way she hadn't outside the kitchen. Daniel noticed the care in every motion, the way she wiped the counter as she went, the way she murmured to herself when she nearly forgot the bay leaf. When she finally plated the food, she hesitated before bringing it to the table. "I didn't know what you like," she said quietly. Daniel gestured for her to sit across from him. "Eat with me." Her eyes widened. "Sir, that's not a request," he said gently. She sat. Daniel took his first bite and stopped mid-chew. The flavors were simple, layered, honest. No excess, no performance, just comfort. The kind that didn't ask for attention. "This tastes like something I've forgotten," he said slowly. Lena's lips curved into a small smile. "Food remembers," she replied. "People forget, or they don't have time." He looked at her then. Not as staff, not as a favor, but as a woman with a quiet strength he hadn't noticed before. They ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes before conversation found them naturally. "Adam likes cooking with me," Lena said. "He's bad at it, very bad, but he tries." Daniel smiled despite himself. "Does he like this?" He'd ask for seconds, she said, laughing softly. "And then cough, because he eats too fast." The laugh surprised her. It had been a while since it came so easily. When the plates were empty, Daniel leaned back, something warm settling in his chest. "I'd like you to cook here regularly," he said. "Every day, mornings and evenings." Lena froze. "Sir, I didn't do this for." "I know," he interrupted. "That's why I'm asking." He named a number. Her breath caught. "That's more than fair," she whispered. "It is," he said. "And I want your son to come sometimes. No child should wait alone because their mother is working." Her composure cracked. She looked down quickly, blinking hard. "Thank you," she said. "You don't know what this means." Daniel did know, just not in the way she meant. As Lena packed leftovers carefully into a small container she'd brought from home, he realized something unsettling. This meal hadn't just fed him. It had softened something he thought was permanently closed. The change was subtle at first. Daniel noticed it in the mornings, the smell of coffee drifting down the hall before he asked for it, the quiet clink of dishes as Lena moved through the kitchen with practiced ease. The penthouse no longer felt like a hotel suite he temporarily occupied. It felt inhabited. Lena noticed it too, though she tried not to. She learned his habits without meaning to. That he preferred silence before ate. That he pushed his food around the plate when stressed but finished everything when calm. That he stood by the window after difficult calls, staring at the city like it might answer him back. They spoke more now, not deeply, not at first. Small things, harmless things, until they weren't. One evening, Lena stayed late, preparing soup for the week. Daniel entered the kitchen, jacket slung over his shoulder, his tie loosened, unguarded in a way she wasn't used to seeing. "You're still here," he said. "I wanted to finish this," she replied. "It freezes well." He nodded, then lingered. Too close. Close enough for her to notice the faint crease between his brows. "Long day?" she asked. "Every day," he said, then paused. "But it's quieter now." She knew what he meant. Adam had been there earlier, leaving toy cars on the counter and laughter in the air. The absence echoed. "You don't have family here?" she asked carefully. Daniel hesitated. "Not really. People, not family." The honesty startled them both. Lena wiped her hands on a towel, grounding herself. "Loneliness doesn't disappear just because you're busy," she said softly. "It just waits." Daniel looked at her sharply. "Is that something you learned?" "Yes," she admitted. "The hard way." Silence stretched, heavy but not uncomfortable. Something unspoken pressed between them. "You don't look at your other employees the way you look at me," Lena said suddenly, attempting lightness but failing. He didn't deny it. "That's dangerous," she continued, voice quieter now. "For both of us." "I know," Daniel said. "But pretending I don't notice you doesn't feel honest." Her heart raced. She stepped back, creating space. "I don't want special treatment." "You don't get any," he said immediately. "Except respect." She studied his face, searching for condescension, expectation, control. She found none, only restraint. "I've had to be careful," she said. "Men with power don't always mean well." "I won't argue with that," Daniel replied. "But I won't use my power against you." A dangerous promise. Later that night, as Lena prepared to leave, Daniel stopped her at the door. "You matter here," he said. "Not because of what you do, but because of who you are." She held his gaze for a long moment, then shook her head faintly. "You can't say things like that," she whispered. "Why?" "Because I might believe you." And that scared her more than anything. When she left, Daniel stood alone in the quiet penthouse, realizing a line had been crossed, not by touch, but by truth. And neither of them knew how to step back without losing something essential. The first headline appeared on a Tuesday morning. Daniel saw it before Lena did. A grainy photo, her exiting the penthouse, Adam's small hand tucked into hers. The caption was cruel in its simplicity, implying motives it had no right to name. By noon, there were dozens more. Commentators dissected her clothes, her past, her silence. They called her strategic, calculated, lucky. Lena found out when a neighbor sent her a link. She read it once, then again. Each word felt heavier than the last, pressing down on years of carefully rebuilt dignity. By the time she arrived at the penthouse that evening, her decision was already made. "I can't keep working here," she said quietly. Daniel turned from the window, his jaw tight. "Because they're wrong. Because they're loud," she replied. "And my son doesn't deserve this." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "You didn't do anything wrong." "That doesn't matter," Lena said. "I've spent my life protecting what little peace I have." She moved toward the kitchen one last time, cooking out of habit, out of grief. Her hands shook as she stirred the pot. "I still don't have much to offer," she said softly, not looking at him. "I never did." Daniel crossed the space between them and gently took the spoon from her hand. "Lena," he said, "look at me." She did. "You offered consistency when my life was chaos," he continued. "Warmth when I didn't know I was cold. You brought your son into my home and trusted me with something precious." "That isn't, not much. That's everything." Her breath hitched. "You don't owe me a defense." "I know," he said. "I owe myself honesty." The next day, Daniel stood in front of cameras he usually avoided. "She didn't take advantage of me," he said evenly. "She worked. She cared. And she reminded me what a home feels like. If that offends you, that's not her burden to carry." The headlines changed. That evening, Lena cooked again, slowly, deliberately. Adam sat at the counter, swinging his legs, telling Daniel about school. The penthouse felt different now. Chosen, claimed. As they ate, Lena met Daniel's eyes. "Maybe I don't have much," she said. Daniel smiled. Not the sharp one he wore in boardrooms, but a softer version she knew well now. "You were always more than enough." And for the first time, Lena believed him, not because he was powerful, but because he was sincere. The city lights flickered outside, but inside, something steady finally held.